Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. I'm your host, Savvy, the founder of Give Me a Break, a nonprofit organization that's caring for caregivers. And our job is to bring back the joy of caregiving. So each week we help caregivers to survive. That's right, I said survive. And why did I say survive? Because you're at risk. You're at risk because the current statistic in the United States, if you guys don't know this song I sing by now, is 50% of caregivers will not survive their caregiving journey. You will pass before the one you're caring for. Totally unacceptable. We're here to change that. And of course, you can get more support. Just check out our website at gab808.org for more information and to go ahead and do a caregiver intake so that we can support you in any way you need. Especially with resources and connecting you to community, which is what we have. Because you can get a break every week, every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. on our support sessions. Our support sessions are wonderful. They're free online and they just connect you to a community of caregivers just like you. So super convenient, super affordable. We're currently in a session that we're talking about pause, taking a pause. And it's an acronym, PAUSE. And we've done the first part, but that's okay because we'll review it. And we're in the second pause section part right now, which is PAUSE. And I'm trying to remember what the P's are for: patient, attitude, and we're going to start you understanding. So you don't want to miss it. And we will get a review in there for you. So absolutely log on to our sessions. Anyone can join. And you just go onto our website, gab808.org, and scroll down until you see the button to join the support session right on Zoom. So the Caring Caregiver Show is sponsored by, and you'll see it right above my head there, sponsored by Giver's Guides. It's a Giver's Guides to Caregiving. Giver's Guides is written exclusively for caregivers, by caregivers, and from a caregiver's point of view. So thank you for that. And by the way, let me just get my cup up. Here we go. That's right. Happy Honolulu Pride Month, you guys. It is Pride Month here in Honolulu. And today is October 4th. And it is the first show of our season 10. Do you believe that? Man, I can't believe we got through 10 seasons so far. 10 seasons of bringing resources and connecting caregivers. I love that. That is so awesome, and it's about time. I'm super excited about this season, and you can go ahead and get your subscription to Giver's Guides magazine to check out this month's upcoming guests. I've got some amazing guests on today as well, and it is our 3rd anniversary of our magazine. So to celebrate, we actually have a new writer that you're definitely going to want to read about. And that's Melinda Chinen, who's a grief coach. And she's going to help you every issue to embrace your grief in her article, Mindful Moments with Melinda. So all the more reason to go to giversguides.com and get your subscription. And another reason, the last and final, of course, is that all profits from Giver's Guides goes to Give Me a Break to support what we do for caregivers. Whew. So this season on the Caring Caregiver Show, I'm super excited to bring somebody new to the show who will come on and have a spot every one of our shows this season. And it's called Audrey's Mindful Moments, because caregivers, you all need to take mindful moments. And Audrey Alice is a yoga and meditation instructor. She's based on the Hawaii island. So I want to welcome her today. Aloha, Audrey. How are you?
Aloha, aloha. I am so well. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited to have you. And I think it's so important for our caregivers to take a mindful moment because, not all caregivers, and you and I talked about this, right? Not all caregivers can go to a class for an hour or sit even longer than sometimes 10 minutes. And so I love that what you're going to do is be able to show caregivers how they can take a mindful moment and seize that moment. So I'm going to let you have the floor. I'm actually going to even leave the screen, which nobody I think has ever seen. So enjoy, and please take us for a mindful moment. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's true. You can take 5 or 10 minutes. That's all you need. Sometimes that's all you can take, and often it's all you need. So Today, I'm going to talk you and not literally, but walk you through a body scan. And what that looks like is really simple. All you need is a chair to sit on. You can even sit on your bed, on the couch, or on the floor. I like to sit on the chair so that my feet can touch the ground flat. It helps me feel grounded. Just to feel the ground there reminds me I am supported. So, when you found your seat, go ahead and lengthen through the spine so you're just sitting upright. And then your hands can go anywhere you want. You can let them dangle alongside you. You can place them on your thighs. I love to place my hands on my heart center because just like the floor under my feet reminds me that I'm grounded and supported, the hands on my heart reminds me that I am here. It's something for the mind to go to when the body and the nervous system is in overwhelm and we're not too sure what's the next step. Hands to heart. Feel your heartbeat. From here, close the eyes. So I will close my eyes too with you. Big exhale, big sigh. You can make the funny faces, stick out your tongue. And then just allow the mind to quiet. I know it is easier said than done. And it doesn't have to be completely empty. Your mind will still have thoughts come in and out, but allow the thoughts to move through. And maybe what you do today is just turn the volume down a little bit. And then I want you to bring your awareness to your breath. We're not trying to fix or change anything right now. We're just noticing the breath that's already there. And your body is perfect, and it does that all by itself. It breathes without you having to think about it. Notice the breath, those gentle inhales and exhales. Notice what happens with each breath cycle. You might notice the chest rising and falling under your hands. You might notice your belly expanding and contracting. You might notice the sun coming in through the window on your skin, or a breeze against your face. And stay right there. And every time the mind brings the thoughts in, you can tell the thoughts, I see you, and I will come back to you. And imagine you can place the thoughts in a bag and place them maybe outside the door of the room you're in. You're going to stay with this easeful, gentle breath. And we begin the scan. So bring your awareness to the crown of your head. That's the top of your head, the highest point of your body. And just notice the air around it, above it. Maybe you'll notice you've slouched a little bit. You bring that crown of your head a little closer to the ceiling. You just sit a little taller. And stay right there with the awareness at the top of your head. Nice. And then bring your awareness to your forehead area. Some of you might know in between the eyebrows. Some of us call this the third eye. But just in between the eyebrows, that area. And then if you notice you're frowning, let that go. Up and down with the eyebrows. Make the funny faces again. Release. And again, awareness to the breath. Gentle inhale, gentle exhale. Back to the third eye. This area is soft. Nice. Allow the awareness to travel down the face, soften in the cheeks, and then bring the awareness to the jaw. Now, I would bet good money that a lot of you are like me, if not everyone, and that your jaw is clenched often, and we don't even notice it. We just do it, right? So let that go. Nice. You might leave the mouth open so the jaw doesn't clench again, so the teeth don't touch. And again, the awareness is just there. You're not doing anything. You're not changing anything or fixing anything. And then swallow. Awareness travels down the shoulders. And then see if on your next exhale, you can let those shoulders go. Nice. Relax. Maybe you'll go up and down here a little bit, little wiggle. Awareness to the heart center. Maybe you had your hands there, so it's right under your hands. If your hands are on the lap, that's fine. Awareness to the heart center. Oh, here's my cat Zoe. She's a very good helper. As your awareness is there around the sternum, just notice the heart beating. And just like the lungs breathe all by themselves, the heart beats all by itself. Your body is amazing. Keep going, traveling down the torso. Arrive at the belly button. We call it the pico here in Hawaii. Let the belly go. Especially us women, we're often told, hold that belly in. Don't let that go. Continue to travel down the thighs. See if you can soften. Release the knees, the kneecaps, down the shins, down the calf muscles. And then into the feet. Notice your feet easily connecting with the floor. Again, we're not doing anything, we're just being. We are called human beings, not human doings. And then you're going to take a mental picture, if you will, of how your body feels right now. And there is no right or wrong question or answer even. You just notice how it feels, take a picture of that. Maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed than when we started, a little softer in the jaw, the shoulders, or the belly. Maybe you notice you're breathing more easily. Maybe you notice your heartbeat has slowed down ever so slightly. Then we'll take a couple of breaths together. As you inhale, imagine the air filling up your belly, filling up your ribs, filling up your chest. And exhale through the nose, but also through the mouth if you prefer, with a sigh. And again, eyes are still closed. Big inhale, fill up the belly, fill up the ribs, fill up the chest. And exhale. Release, surrender, give it up. One last time, biggest breath you've taken all day. It's so conscious. You notice the breath filling up the sides of your ribs, the top of the ribs, up into the shoulders and the collarbones. And exhale. Whenever you need to, throughout the day, throughout the rest of the week, come back to this feeling, this sensation. Take 5, 6, 7 minutes to sit down, scan through the body. You are amazing. Happy Aloha Wednesday. It's Wednesday here. Thank you, thank you.
Oh my goodness, that was so amazing. Folks, that took 5 minutes. So caregivers, you have 5 minutes and you can contact Audrey at 808-936-9142. And of course, as always, if you need more information, just contact us at Give Me a Break as well, and we can connect you. Thank you so much for that. And what you do is amazing. So thank you so much. Have a great day. And we really appreciate you being here. Can't wait to do this again next week.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Aloha. Wow, you guys, was that awesome? That was super amazing. I feel really relaxed, and now I'm going to have to try and concentrate and focus the rest of the show, which is really good. And by the way, I didn't mention to all of the guests who are backstage that all you simply have to do at any time is just hit the red leave button, and you can leave at any time. You don't have to stay on for the entire show. So I forgot to mention that. But thank you so much for those mindful moments, and tune in next week again. Audrey's going to bring us some great moments that we all need as caregivers. You know, in the caregiving world, we rarely take time to do this, to bathe, to even sleep, let alone try to keep up with something like, say, a fraud attack. Ironically, just before I started the show, my phone started ringing, you know, and it was an 808 number. And I thought, oh, somebody from the show maybe is trying to contact me and couldn't get the link. Or so I answered it. And, you know, it was one of those dang fraud calls. And it just drives you crazy. And you know what I told him? I says, look, dude, I don't have time for this. Go fraud somebody else. And I hung up on him. But, you know, we get them all the time. And our next guest is really important for this because he's going to he's from the Identity Theft Resource Center. And he's going to tell us all about it. He's actually the outreach coordinator for ITRC. And I want to bring him on right away. This is Randy Lawrence. I'm so glad to have you here today. I'm sure you've heard all the horrible stories about theft and fraud. And you know, I'm a kupuna, believe it or not. This is my Medicare year. So, you know, I'm a target, you know, as soon as you start getting those Mutual of Omaha farming letters, you know, it's downhill from there for any kind of kupuna fraud. So I'm so glad you came on today, and I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome, Randy Lawrence.
Hey, thank you so much. Aloha, everyone there. I know most everyone there is that you're in the lovely state of Hawaii. I'm actually in San Diego, California right now, coming to you from here where we're actually based. And I'm here just briefly to talk to you real briefly about the Identity Theft Resource Center. So we are actually a national nonprofit. And I know she has the 888 number down below. And that's a very important thing for all of you because we are a national nonprofit and we have this toll-free number and we help all victims of not only identity theft, but all scams. So like when you get those scam calls, like you're talking about, we all get them. And we actually have a phrase. We say what? We just say K-bye. K and then bye. Why? You did the right thing. You hang up on them, right? You don't want to engage them. You don't want to give them any information at all. You just hang up on them. But by any chance, if you do give someone information, like maybe it could be some personal identifying information like your social security number, date of birth, or if like some of the people you're caring for, obviously with the elderly, we see a huge problem there. Why? They're targeted because a lot of times they can't hear very well. Or, you know, or these scammers, they try to put this urgency and threats in their mind, right? So they react immediately to it. And so they become victimized a lot. And so we're here to help. We're a resource for you. So whenever you're working with any of your clients as a caregiver, or even for yourself or your own family member, if you've clicked on links and provided, say, your information, like you said, it could be social security, date of birth, or what are scammers looking for a lot nowadays? They want your username and passwords because they want to get onto your accounts and take your money, right? Or if they get enough of your information, they're just going to start their own accounts. They're going to open up accounts in your name. And so if you, or any, like I said, any of your family or any of the people you're working with, your clients, any of these type of things happen, you can call our toll-free number. Now, we're only open 7 to 6 Pacific Standard Time. We're not a 24-hour operation because obviously we're not dealing usually with, you know, emergency situations like domestic violence or things like that that are truly emergencies. But we're here to help. So you can call and leave a number. If we're not open, we're going to, and our support staff call you back, or we'll call the client back. You can also go to our website, which is also here listed, because we actually have a live chat feature. So if you're more comfortable, or if the person's a very, you know, into it on the computer, great. They can actually live chat with our workers, also with our staff. So we're here to help everyone out there that could be potentially a scam victim. Now, we also do things like we capture like info on data breaches all over the country. We publish reports on this type of stuff. We publish it every week or every month. We do a newsletter. And what are we talking about? The current scams. And currently, the bigger scams that we're seeing out there, especially when it comes to the elderly, we have the grandparent scam. which I'm sure most of you have heard of. We see it a lot in San Diego. Why? Because the scammers will call the elderly and act to be a grandson or a granddaughter, and they'll say they're in jail and say Mexico. And they don't even say their names. They're just trying to create that urgency. And, hey, grandma, grandpa, I'm in jail. I need $5,000 now. And we see, unfortunately, the elderly fall for this on a regular basis.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say too that that call that I got, they were trying to tell me that they needed to verify information about my prescription, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, the other thing I've heard too is that a lot of times the first thing they say is this, is this so and so, or am I speaking to so and so? And they're trying to get you to say yes to get an affirmation that they can use when applying for accounts and things, and then they tape your voice. And so I never respond yes. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's something we did see out there. What we're seeing a lot now, or we're seeing even more prevalent now, believe it or not, unfortunately, is what AI issues.
Yeah.
Because if you're out there, and I hate like you, you're out there on this show. So your voice is out there because you're doing a weekly show.
Yeah.
So if people record you, and that you actually use AI to actually, change what you're doing completely. I've seen it where people have changed up using AI, and they actually are able to get someone else to provide passwords, things like that,
Right,
because
right.
they pretend to be you, and it's really your voice, but it's been manipulated. So yes, we do see things like that. And like you said, that call you got, that's very common, where they're going to claim to be your bank, your
Yeah.
insurance company, and they want you to verify your information so that they can get into that. And that is one thing we're actually seeing more and more is insurance fraud, because the cost of insurance is so great nowadays, and medical procedures are so expensive. We're actually seeing medical ID fraud now, and they're taking over, like, say, my medical insurance, so they can get the cheaper, procedure. The issue is then now on my medical record, I now have a procedure or a diagnosis for something that wasn't even me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can get billed if there's a copay or something too.
Yes.
It costs you money. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
my thing is too, is that I'm never going to trust a source. I don't even care if they're valid. My response is always, who is this? Oh, this is so-and-so. Great. I will call the main office and get connected to you. So I never speak to anybody or give any information to anyone. I go straight to, if it's my bank, I say, great. What was your name? Wonderful. I'm going to call the bank back at the main number and have them connect me to you.
That's exactly the key. You never want to call a number listed in an email or a text or anything like that. Just like you're doing, you go to the source. You go to the website. If you don't know the number, you search it up and you find the real number. Because obviously, if it's a scam, it's a bogus number. And all you're doing is calling in to a scammer.
Yep.
That's going to try to get that information out of you.
Yeah. And I'm not going to ask them for their number. I'm going to ask them for their name and position. And then I'll contact the main office and talk directly to get, and they say there's no one here by that name. Guess what? You were scammed, trying to get scammed. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. And the other big scam we see when it comes to, unfortunately, with COVID too, we've seen a huge increase in the romance scams, because people are isolated. So they're looking for love in all the wrong places, right? They're on
catfishers.
So they're going to their computers to find someone to talk to and all that. So we've actually, because with COVID and then also with seniors, we do see a lot, because of the isolation factor. We see a lot of the romance scams, and they're still going on. We still see every month we have a victim a lot of times call into us because of a romance scam. And I'm talking people losing $100,000. We're not just talking $4,000 or $5,000. I've seen victims losing over $100,000 on these scams.
Yeah. Ironically, I was just watching, and there's a show called Catfish, right? And I'm not that I'm endorsing a show, but I was happy to be watching it late last night, and it was this poor woman. She was, in her 70s, and she started talking to someone online who she thought was a celebrity, and fortunately, she didn't give any money to this person and refused to. But they said, "Why did you keep doing this?" She says, "Because I look for the good in people." Right. And so, unfortunately, we all have these great hearts, and we try to look for the good in people. But you can't. You have to be really protective. And if someone's asking you for money, period, you just need to make sure you verify a source. And if you can't verify a source, then yeah, money's not going to solve that problem. So,
oh no, we work with an organization that deals specifically with romance scams. And what's crazy about that is one of the co-founders of that group, he was actually like a Navy SEAL or something, and he was very attractive, fit individual. They used his profile picture. They create over 50 accounts,
wow.
a variety of dating apps to scam people using his photo. And so the thing about that is what? When you're online, you have no idea who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Just a picture. That's not in reality who you may be talking to.
Yeah.
We
So
always
I think the bottom line is just don't give your information to anyone, period.
Well, don't give money. Then definitely don't send money to someone that you don't know personally like that. Never wire money. We recommend you never wire money, especially, or even gift cards.
Gift cards. Yeah.
People say gift cards. And no, we never want that either. We never want gift cards. We never say wire money. No, because those are the ones that you're never going to get. That money is so much harder to get back.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing is so amazing. I know you did a presentation on the I think it was the Kupuna Collective here, and that's how I found out about you. And I immediately contacted you and said, I need you to come on the show because
you did.
We need to have caregivers. You need to be aware. Maybe you can be strong enough to not be at risk, and you can be very careful. But the one you're caring for,
correct,
it's still going to have access. They're going to have access to a phone. They might have access to online, and you have to really help them to be careful. And because some of them may even have, dementia or some other brain illnesses or just aging in general where they're forgetful or they can't hear, like you said. So protect them. And if something happens, contact the Identity Theft Resource Center, contact 888-400-5530. I'm going to say that number one more time for those who listen on podcast. Identity Theft Resource Center at 888-400-5530. And if you can talk to Randy, that's great if he's there. But if not, I'm sure your team there is amazing and know exactly how to talk to and help everyone that calls. So know that you guys have a resource center to go to and that there is somebody who will answer. Just be aware of the Hawaii time. Bottom line is give them a call. If they call, it's late at night, just call them in the morning. You guys know how to contact.
You can leave a message. We will get back to you. The other thing I do want to say to the caregivers too, specifically, is we welcome what we call warm handoffs. We do this all the time. So if you have a client and you want to make sure they're getting the help that they need, and you're not sure if they'll call us, but they've been victimized, you can call us and say, I'm here with so-and-so. Can you please talk to them? And so we take those type from adult protective service workers all the time. Awesome. So we take warm handoffs all the time from caregivers. So feel free that if to call in and make sure they get the help they need, because we are a free resource for you. We're here to help.
And that's awesome. And that's exactly what's needed. And you guys, if you guys are a little bit shy, you small kind shy, just call me. You guys know my number. Get in contact with one of us here. Give me a break, and we'll connect you. We'll be on there with you. We'll help you walk through it. But bottom line is, you're going to call 888-400-5530. And guess what? They're going to be there for you, and they're not going to scam you, and they're there to help you. So it's a verified resource for us. Randy, at the Identity Theft Resource Center, thank you so much for sharing with us today and for everything you guys do. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Mahalo. All right. Great. And there we go. And I'm back. Hi. Thank you for sharing. Really. These are the things that we really have to be careful for, and it happens. Again, it just happened to me just before this, and I could have been so preoccupied with what I was doing, that I could have fallen prey to a fraud. So it's always going to hit when you're not ready for it. So do what you can to be prepared, do what you can to be safe. And then when all else fails, give them a call. Call the Identity Theft Resource Center and know that you're getting a free service that's going to help you, something that all caregivers and those you care for need. All right. Okay. What else? So it's all about our caregiving journey, you guys. This is our story. Our story doesn't have to have fraud in it. It's really a story about our life. It's a story about how we heal. And speaking of our story, we are doing our Tell Your Story workshops coming up this Saturday. Oh wait, I have a wonderful little graphic to share today. Where is it? There it is. And I want this one. So I have it on screen, but for those of you who are going to listen on podcast later, our Tell Your Story workshops this year have part 1 and part 2. And coming up this Saturday on October 7th from 11 to 11:30 a.m., probably it'll be more around 10 to 11. So it is this Saturday online, and you need the Zoom link. So you've got to register. Go to gab808.org to register and get signed up. It's a free workshop. This Saturday's presentation is by me. It's called Surviving and Thriving with a Plan. So it's not just about surviving and thriving caregiving, but it is also how to do so with a plan for your care receiving. So really great presentation. Get registered right away, because there are worksheets that I will be emailing to you that you will need for that. There we go. I removed it. By the way, for those of you who see me stumble through all of this technical stuff every time I'm on, I am looking for somebody who would love to volunteer and do the technical part of this show. You just have to be available for about an hour every Wednesday during season, and I'll show you what to do. If I can do it, you can do it. So I am looking for a volunteer. Just contact me and contact me at info@gab808.org. So how about that? I even did a want ad. So anyway, there's a wonderful presentation that we're doing. Get registered. It's free. And if you attend both sessions, both parts 1 and part 2, which is this coming Saturday and the following, you will be entered to win a free pamper cruise. So, hey, there's a perk for doing that and for getting all the knowledge that you need to make your journey that much better. Okay. Whew, wow. We're going on with the show. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. Did you know that? And caregivers deal, with mental illness, not just of the ones they're caring for, but believe it or not, even for yourself. And it's really, you're going from a moment to moment basis, right? They always say one step at a time, but caregivers do, like, in that one step, you do like 10, right? And so today I have an esteemed panel of mental health experts here with me, and I want to bring them on. Let me get my technical going, and I want to bring them on. I want to welcome Dr. Jamie Kaylee and Belinda Davidson. Aloha and welcome. Let me just change this as well, so we're all on there. And I am so excited to welcome all of you here from the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Division, as well as High Cares 988. I've been seeing the commercials for the High Cares. Great job on those commercials. They're awesome. And mind you, I am the biggest critic. I will sit there and watch a commercial and go, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I love your commercials. They're awesome. They came out really great. So welcome. Great to have you all here today. Just wanted to really address the mental health of caregivers. And so I know you can speak to that. So please welcome, ladies, and just take the floor. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having us here. And the person who did our lovely backgrounds helped us with doing all those commercials as well. So that's our communications team. They do a really good job.
Awesome. Big, let's clap for them. Great job. Great job. Yes.
Yeah. So I thank you so much for having us. And I think one of the biggest things, I'm so glad you had Audrey on, because that taking a moment for yourself is a huge thing. And it only takes 5 minutes, but I think for caregivers, we often feel this guilt about taking time for ourselves. And I'm here to let people know that it's really important to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. You can't take care of others if you're not taking care of yourself. So it's just really, really important that we do those things as well. And I don't know, we've been dealing a lot with some of the things that are happening in Maui and really trying to help the caregivers there. So I don't know if it would be helpful to maybe talk a little bit about how people might react to traumatic situations, and not just caregivers, but how their children might react, and provide some of those resources. Is that something that would be
Yeah,
helpful for you?
absolutely. I mean,
Okay,
I think
okay.
the thing is that in itself, caregiving is trauma.
Yes.
Right? You get PTSD from caregiving. I know people who, caregivers who have sort of graduated that journey and they're still having PTSD from it at 10,
Yeah.
12, 15, 20 years down the line. I know I am, from caring for my mother. It was traumatic going through her dementia phases. And I can just imagine throwing a disaster on top of that. And I don't know if everyone's seen it, but we post on our Facebook page and it's on our webpage. But we are doing a fundraiser for Maui caregivers so that we can collect up enough to go there and do a pamper session for the Maui caregivers, because one of them, who's pictured actually on the cover of our October magazine, is a personal friend of mine. And she lost everything. But the reason why I put her there is because her and her family of 8, so 9 of them, spent over 8 hours in the water. And one of the persons that they spent that time with was her grandmother, her mother, who has dementia. And so if you can just imagine what that would have been like, trying to explain to somebody with dementia every 5 seconds why they're in the water, why they're not getting out of the water, why there's fire, and then afterwards to have to then take over and explain why there's no house anymore, and why you've lost everything, and why you can't go to your bed. And it's just horrific. So how do they deal with that? What are some of the things that you can talk about today that can hit home for our caregivers?
And I can't even imagine
I'm
what people
just
went
trying to fight
through.
back the tears right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's and it really, it speaks to how resilient and amazing our people are, and the caregivers that are dealing with, oftentimes now people are dealing with, both helping their parents, their elderly parents, and also taking care of their children. And so you're kind of squished in this caregiving sandwich, and not a lot of room for yourself. So it's really, really important to both recognize when you might need help in caregiving, and when you need help yourself as a caregiver. So we are mostly working with children, youth, families, but a lot of the work that we do is working with caregivers. So I think what's really important is for caregivers, especially when you have a child, a teen who's gone through a traumatic experience, knowing that they might react to things really differently and you don't understand why. Why are they having so much trouble paying attention and concentrating now? Why all of a sudden are they overreacting to every little change? Oh, we're not going to the same store and it's a huge ordeal. Why are they acting like that? And a lot of it may be related to that trauma. So just recognizing that those changes in behavior and those changes in emotions might be related to the fact that they're dealing with trauma. Same for the caregiver. Sometimes it's really hard for us to recognize our emotions. We're really terrible at it. We're really, really bad at recognizing, I'm feeling really anxious right now. So I think it's important to stop and look at your emotions and recognize those, and give yourself time to calm down and relax. Take those breaths that we did with Audrey, take a
No,
few breaths.
I really love that, because I think that's key.
Yeah.
Caregivers are so laser focused and, and exhausted
Yes.
and already operating in just chaos, that the last thing they think is to recognize the changes and the needs that they have within themselves. And I think that's why when you say, recognizing that you need help, and they don't ask for help. And so that mindful moment will help you to accept that you need to reach out, You need to get help. And in our sessions, I tell them all the time, you guys get help. You know, your medical covers it.
Yeah.
At once a month at the very minimum, right? And so reach out and actually look your doctor in the face and say, I need help. And
Yeah.
it's okay, because that's not a fail. That's actually the greatest thing you can do. Would you agree?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And I think I would add to that, you know, we've talked to a lot of parents on Maui who I think are really wanting to be strong, really wanting to do the right thing for their kids.
Yes, because parents are caregivers. Let's point that out.
That's right. And I think what's important to point out is when you do some self-care, or when you do something to take care of your own mental health, yes, that's helping you in the moment with your coping and your overall health, but you're also modeling for the person that you're taking care of ways that they can take care of themselves too. And you're modeling that mental health is important, and you're modeling that self-care is important. So it actually works on a number of levels,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that you're sort of touching on is, you know, I think that caregivers feel like they have to be really strong and seem like they don't need help and seem like they're doing everything perfectly. And I know a lot of parents have been worried because their kids maybe want to talk about the fires and talk about the things that are happening. And parents worry about not knowing the answer or not knowing the right thing to say in that moment. And I think if we could just really reassure all caregivers out there that your presence is what's important, your authenticity and honesty is what's important, and your kind of listening and being there as a resource is what's important,
Yeah.
not what you say. Because again, what you're modeling is, I'm here for you. And if you need to talk about something hard or difficult, I'm someone that you can come to have that conversation. And even if I don't have all the answers and I say, I don't know, I don't have all the answers,
Yeah.
you can model, okay, how can we get help with this? Let's work together and get help, some support. I think
Yeah.
that's incredibly powerful
I agree.
thing to model for the people around you.
I totally agree. You know, and I was just reading an article about authenticity, and how it's so important. And caregivers can't feel like they can't be authentic with themselves or with anyone else. And it's okay. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You don't. And we put this perfection model in front of us as a caregiver. And I know I did it. You know, I went into depression for 9 months after my mom was placed because I felt I failed her. Right. And so you have to understand, caregivers, that you don't have to put up airs. You don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to do any of that. Just be your authentic self. And if you don't know the answer, oh my goodness, guess what? I've got 3 people right here on this show today that can totally get you the answers and help you with ways to talk about those things and address those things. And so you're not alone. You're not alone, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to, the mistakes are the greatest things we can do, right?
Yeah. Because that's how you learn, right?
That's how we
you get
learn,
better.
right? I mean, I remember that as a child too, right? You know, you did something wrong, you got the slipper, and then what was the first thing they said out of their mouth? Now you know, now you learn, right? And that was how now you learn. And that's how we learn. So why would we think as adults that, we can't fall or we can't make a mistake? Of course we can. That's how we learn. And so even as caregivers, it's okay. And even if you are doing a great, wonderful job of doing everything perfect, learning and being your authentic self is going to help your carry and the ones you care for that much more. So I love that you brought that up. Yeah, that's so true. So true. We were just talking about it last night in our support group. So, the other thing I think is really important too is to recognize that what something you had talked about, Dr. Jamie, which was the sandwich caregiver, the caregiver who gets caught in between everything. And that is happening so much more and more nowadays. And what happens is, because of the pull from both sides, there's like no sanctuary, and that depression really does set in. what can we say to those who are in that place?
I think that is such a hard place to be. And I think, like you've been saying all along, you're not alone. There is help, there is support. We have a number of resources, and I can let Kaylee and Belinda kind of talk a little bit more about Hawaii Cares 988 and what they offer, and then some of the websites that I think are helpful for caregivers. The biggest thing I think for me as a caregiver is that forgiveness and saying, okay, it's okay for me to fail. It's okay for me to not be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do a bad job sometimes. I'm going to yell and lose it, and give yourself a little bit of that forgiveness. And we do a lot of groups and parenting skills and things like that. And a lot of it is just learning how to cope with those stressors, because they're always going to be coming. It's like waves in the ocean. They never stop. It's how do you figure out how to ride along with the waves and not get overwhelmed with them. And a lot of that is reaching out for support and learning some of those coping strategies. So those mindfulness skills that you're going to be doing with Audrey every week, those are great. And just taking time for yourself, but also reaching out to your support people. And if you don't have some, let us help you find some. We can do that. We can help you. Yeah, we have parent partners that can help. We have mental health specialists that can help. So there is help available. Don't think you have to do this alone. None of us can. It's impossible to do it by yourself.
Your wellness matters. I always say that. And I say self-care isn't selfish, right? And so what I love is that you have all of these things. Let's talk about what you do have to offer a little bit more, so our caregivers know specifically some of the things they can. And it's not just for caregivers too. I mean, really, we're focused on caregivers because that's the Caring Caregiver Show. And however, we also the one you're caring for, and we were just talking about this last night in our session, was that mom gets frustrated and angry because she sees herself aging. And my mother would get like that too, because she knew she had dementia. She knew she was diagnosed before, and she knew that she was going to start forgetting things, and that frustration of forgetting. And so being able to help them through that and cope them through that and cope ourselves as caregivers. So knowing what we can go to high cares for is going to be really important. So, and of course, anything to do with, child and adolescent as well, because there are teenagers who are taking care of parents who have dementia. Dementia is not an age thing, right? So what else can they go to you for? What do you have that they can go to you for? And I love that you mentioned partners too. That was great.
So that's where I come in. So aloha, everyone. Thanks
Yay!
for having us here. And these are my partners. So I am from the Adult Mental Health Division, and with our ChemHD partners, we oversee a program called Hawaii Cares. And basically, in the name of it, kind of tells you what type of response folks will receive when they call that number. So I don't know if it's, well, you've seen the commercials. Thank you for the positive feedback. We have a whole team that does that. That's not us three ladies here. We just don't, that's not our forte.
Well, I want you to know that it actually gave me the comfort to think that I'll be okay if I call, that it's okay to call. And it gave that sense. And I went, yes, it's about time. They nailed it. Good job. Somebody got a commercial right from Hawaii. But it was really great. And it just gave that reassuring feeling that it's good to call. It's okay to call. You need to make this call for you.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the message I want to give out to the caregivers who, tune in and will be listening. And is basically that's the resource that's provided to you folks 24/7, right? So say, you have your lovely resources here, your support groups and such, but there might be that one caregiver who still is struggling with that. No, I can do this. No, I can do this. Or isn't ready to let people know how much they're struggling. This is a place that you can call anonymously, right? In the middle of the night, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, you're sitting at the edge of your bed and you're just overwhelmed. pick up that phone, call 988 or call our, if you're calling from the neighbor islands, our 1-800 number. 753-6879 is the number to call, or you can just dial 988. Call, just talk to our crisis counselors over the phone. I mean, it doesn't have to be at the level where you're having thoughts of suicide or ending your life, but if you just need that person to just right,
Yeah. Yeah.
just throw up all that stress and that those toxic thoughts and stressors. If you just need to just get that out of your system, they're there for that, right? And if that's all you need, then you're good. Right? And you can pick yourself up and dust yourself off and resume being the super person that you are, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that it's a call center, it's our hotline. If you need more than that, say if it's not even for you, say it's your teenage child, or maybe it's your older parent that you're caring for, that maybe you're just not the person they're responding to. We can have, they can talk to a crisis counselor over the phone, or we can have a crisis mobile outreach crisis therapist come out to the home. So this is 24/7, right? So if
Awesome.
you're not able to deal with your child, or say with your parent or the person you're providing care to, and you need a third party there to just say, I cannot deal right now. I
Yeah.
just cannot. If the person is okay with their crisis worker to come out, you just call that 988 number and just say, hey, this is a situation, I need a crisis therapist to come out and just see what we can do, or they can do to support me and my
That's
family, or me and my
amazing.
loved one.
So you're a safe person, and we
Yes.
talk about this all the time. And when I build, we do a session about building a caregiver survival kit, and part of that is having a safe person, and not everyone has that. And
Yes.
so 988 is your new safe person, caregivers. What an awesome thing to have, and what a great service that you're doing, because it's so needed, and not just because of a disaster in Maui. Yes, that's an amazing thing to have, but caregivers, 156,000 caregivers in the state of Hawaii alone that need a safe person. So, this is a 24-hour correct line that you can call.
Absolutely, 24/7 on all islands. So say you're on
What was that
Molokai,
toll-free number
a
again?
toll-free number for our neighbor islands is 1-800-753-6879,
Great. And then 988 as
or
well. Just
988.
call it from your phone, 988. It's not that we don't need 911. We need 988. It's beyond the ones. You guys are at level 8 here. You need help. Call 988, get that help, because even if you just need to splooge it out, like you said,
Yes,
regurgitate what's going on, it's going to help you immensely. And then
exactly.
just follow that up with a mindful moment, and get on our sessions, for goodness sakes, so that you can have a community that'll support you as well.
Absolutely. And if I can make a plug, because the website is a wonderful resource as well. Like, say you don't feel like you need to talk to somebody, but you just want to learn more about the resources that are out there. You can see on Dr. Jamie's background, highcares.hawaii.gov. Everything's reversed, so we don't know which direction we're pointing, but it's a wonderful website that has a ton of resources on it. It has people's coming out stories, which I know can be a very
I love
stressful and emotional time for people. It can have Maui response resources. It has general feedback about your mental health and taking care of your mental health. So the website is also a wonderful resource for folks.
Yes, it is. And I've checked it out. And I love that you say coming out stories too, because I'm always telling caregivers, this is our time to come out, and as caregivers, we're coming out, because caregivers are isolated and invisible. And so caregivers need to come out of the closet, come out of your world of darkness and into the light, and get healthy mentally and physically. So it shouldn't be a burden. Your journey should be one that is joyful. And that's what all of us on the call, right on the show right now, are focused on, is for people to have joyfulness in their lives. And your life just shouldn't be in darkness. And I love that you're all there and that you have such a great service for anyone who's going through anything, to be able to have that safe space to go to. So thank you so much. I know we're running over time, but I have about maybe 30 seconds if you want to just make one last plug or say one last thing before I sign you off.
If I can just say one thing, it would be, don't underestimate the power of your friendships and your relationships and your interpersonal connections. They're everything, and they can make a huge impact on your health as well as the people that you're interacting with.
Yeah,
Make
I
time
love
for
it.
your friends. Make new friends.
Yes, and if you need a community, call 988, because you can make a community of
you.
really great people. And the three of you have been amazing. I'm so honored to have you here, and that you took time to do this today. Thank you so much, Dr. Jamie, Belinda, and Kaylee, for being on. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And gosh, I hope we can do this again. I think we should do it periodically. Just an
Yeah, thank you.
All
Our
right, great.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Aloha.
Mahalo. Aloha.
Thank you.
All right. And it's just back to me again. Wow, was that intense and awesome at the same time? You know, caregivers, you deserve mental wellness. You do. You deserve it. You should have it. It's a normal part of being a human being, which is something Audrey said earlier too. We're not human doings, we're human beings. So be in that moment. Give yourself the wellness you deserve. And really, mahalo to all of you on our mental health panel for sharing your heart with us and for all that you do. Speaking of mental health, our community in Maui is still going through a lot. There's going to be a long time of recovery. And we do have our Give Me a Dollar Maui Caregiver campaign. If you go onto our website, gab808.org, you will see that there is a campaign. We're really just asking for $1 from everybody. And if you just give $1, that helps to go towards a pampering outreach program that we are putting together for caregivers on the island of Maui. Also, for those of you that are embracing a carry with dementia of any sort, of any kind of dementia, please make arrangements to attend Keys, Bags, Names, and Words. Let me just get that right up here on the screen. So Keys, Bags, Names, and Words is a free movie presentation by the Hawaii Family Caregiver Coalition in partnership with Gimme a Break and the Alzheimer's Association of Hawaii. There will be 3 different showings, 3 different locations, 3 different dates. And you can go and see this free movie that really is a documentary film about dealing with all of these dementia, Alzheimer's, and memory-associated diseases, as well as aging. Please take advantage of it. The first showing is coming up this Saturday, and it will be at the St. Timothy's Church, sponsored by Hale Haole Daycare, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon this Saturday. Look forward to seeing some of you there. And also, you know, Christmas is coming. I know, on the lighter side of things, Christmas is coming. And you can help us and support 2 great nonprofits, of course, Give Me a Break and Habilitat, by ordering your Christmas tree or wreath now. And if you do it, please do this before the 25th. Go online, and you can go to our website as well, or you can go to hawaiichristmastrees.com directly, or you can go to Give Me a Break. Just choose Give Me a Break as your charity. And also, if you'd like to, you can donate your Christmas tree to a caregiver. A lot of times that's the last thing a caregiver has time to do is go out and get a Christmas tree, or get just a wreath. Even is a wonderful way for them to have the Christmas spirit in their home. And you can do that. Select the Hawaii Kai location as your location, and the instructions are on our website to how you can make that donation of a tree or a wreath to a caregiver, and we'll deliver it. So that's something wonderful that you can do. So also, let's see, where am I? I want to make sure I say this, but oh, here we go. I got it. Don't forget, it is now open. Our Caregiver of the Year contest is now open for you to enter. And I know sharing your story is a tough thing, but remember why you're doing this. By you sharing your story, and it's really just a couple sentences of what you go through as a caregiver, you will inspire another caregiver to know that they're not alone, that they too are going through what you're going through. And it connects us as a community, and it creates an awareness to the rest of the world to know that we are here. And that's why I'm telling you, caregivers are coming out. Our contest every year has connected caregivers and has really grown the community that we have just in Hawaii alone. And we can cover the whole world one day as a community. So please enter the Caregiver of the Year contest. Your first 50 entrants that sign up will be getting a thanks caregiving dinner. And I'll talk more about that next week's show. And you all, some of you know about our thanks caregiving dinners for you and your caree. So make sure to do that. Connect with community, spread awareness. We really want you to go ahead and so when you're on our website, so much to do, so many things to sign up for, so many things to take advantage of, all of these for you, for caregivers. That's why we're here. We're here to connect you caregivers to everything you possibly could need or want to make your caregiving a joy. And I hope that today's show helped you. And I thank our guests again. Next week, we're going to have Alexis Muller of Noah Botanicals and Becky Sampson to talk about decluttering. So wonderful show. A little CBD and a little decluttering ought to help you. You don't want to miss that. And remember to always tune in at noon to the Caring Caregiver Show. And it's okay if you miss us live. You can check out our podcasts on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, any platform you use. Just search Caring Caregiver Show or go to the website. Oh, there it is right there, caringcaregivershow.com. And you join a community of caregivers just like you. In the meantime, please remember, breathe, breathe. And here's hoping that you find more joy in caregiving every week here on the Caring Caregiver Show. So thanks for tuning in. Be kind to yourself and to all who are caring. Aloha, everyone. Good night. Mahalo.